Well, this is a look at the mounting system for the big array, the 3 kW array, which will hold 6 panels. We've got to pick up some more treated lumber to finish it out. But for now, we're going to go ahead and put the first string, which will be 6 of the 260 watt panels. But as you can see, this was just a simple design. This is a 30-degree angle pointing south, which is the optimum for the year-round in my location for the solar panels. This is just a simple design, but it's really nice and strong. And it was relatively easy to do and fairly inexpensive. So let's continue on. Well, as you can see, the solar array is almost complete. We've got 2 more panels to put on. And just let me kind of show you what we're doing here. We are putting these screws with a star washer along, as you can see, down through there. And what that does is, with a star washer, that puts continuity between the metal frames of all of the solar panels. And then we will run a grounding wire so that all the metal of the solar panels is completely grounded. So that takes care of the issue of everything being ground. So we're going to step back, get those last 2 panels on, get the wiring completed, and that will be a done deal on this 3 kW solar array. It's going to put out a little over 3,100 watts of power. Cool. Alrighty, the 3 kW solar array is completed. We've got the framework, which and the mounting system there, which is doing excellent. And what I've done is I've run a 6-panel string there and a 6-panel string up top. And these panels are 260 watts each with a voltage of 38.2 and an amperage of 9. So that bottom string is going to be about 1,560 watts, 1,560 watts, about 229 point something volts, and the 9 amps. So that's those are run in series, and these 6 are run in series. And then I bring them together here, and I use those Y connectors to parallel string 1 and string 2. So what I've got coming out right there and running through and over into the shop is a total of 3,100 and something watts at 229 volts with a total of 18 amps. So this is a pretty good system. Like I said, it's a 3 kW. Now let's go inside and see what we've got controlling the system. Here is the heart and soul of the system. This is the EG4 3,000 watt or a 3 kW all-in-one inverter controller. And this bad boy is nice. So let me just explain. I talked about the wires coming from the array. Now that's about 65 feet away, so I need to use a good heavy gauge wire, and these are 6 gauge wires. And they run over here into this breaker, which, because it's 18 amps, that's a 20 amp breaker. And that goes into the PV input. PV is the solar. It then takes the watts from it and inverts them into 110 volts AC. And that goes down through here into this 30 amp breaker box. So it has a 30 amp main, a 15 amp breaker for these 2 receptacles, and a 15 amp breaker for these 2 receptacles. Now that's 25 to 30 amps of power. That allows me to run a refrigerator, fans, all kinds of things. Now, when you are low on solar power, in other words, really super cloudy day or nighttime, then what happens is, as it's needed, the EG4 pulls power from a battery. So these are the battery leads. Goes to a 125 volt breaker. I'm sorry, amp breaker. And it comes down to this 48 volt, 100 amp hour LiFePo4 lithium battery. And that bad boy is nice. Okay, so now let me explain what I truly love about this system. This EG4 has the potential to be set up in several different ways, and it comes with a really nice manual. But as you can see, there is a ton of things to know. And it's really easy to go right through and put in the different settings that you need. But I gotta be perfectly honest, it was a little bit overwhelming for me. So here comes the cool part. I called customer service. They're based out of Texas, and I got a tech. I was really lucky. I got a tech named Javiero, and he was great. He took the time to walk me through. Well, first he asked me, "What do you want, Keith?" And I said, what I want is, when the sun is out, I want it to power my appliances and charge the battery. But then when the sun goes down, I want it to be able to run off of the battery. But then what I told him was, I'm confused about what the AC power is. And he said, that's simple. It has a built-in charger. You plug the wire in to a 30 amp receptacle, and when your battery gets low, it'll automatically turn on the charger, which then puts voltage back into the battery, and it continues to run the inverter. Then as soon as the sun comes up, it shuts off the charger, the AC charger, and goes back to pulling all of its power from the solar, and then at the same time charge the battery. How cool is that? That is exactly what I wanted. He said, no problem, we'll just set it up. We went through there, told him what kind of battery I had. Bam, 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 within 5 minutes, this bad boy was up and going. So that in itself is a great reason to go with this company. Alrighty, there you have it. The EG4 3000 EHV48. It's a 48 volt system, and it is just perfect for what I want. Alrighty, I hope all this helps. I know I'm excited about it. I'll be doing some further videos from time to time, I'm sure. But anyway, I got to finish wrapping it up, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Later.